true. Very true. So in other talks, we have a news reporter that has left NBC for honestly for her beliefs, which is kind of great. She spoke about not being able to feel as if her viewpoint was actually being represented by media from NBC. And a clip that you sent over to me, was speaking about her son having a being part of an affinity group. Or no, her son having an African American friend that ended up being part of affinity group, which led to her son and this African American child not necessarily being friends anymore. Uh, how do you feel about affinity groups in schools? Actually, period, for race as we speak.
I really don't like it. I think there needs to be parenting involved here. I think schools need to do their job and teach and educate, and I don't
Hmm.
need to be having these types of propagandas here in school or these types of things happening in school. Like, their job is to teach and educate. Their job is not to raise our children. That's our jobs as parents. So I honestly don't like it. I know me as a parent that would go against my moral compass and my belief systems. I teach my kids something very different, so I don't agree with it. I think she's right to be upset by it. I think she should be concerned by it. And I think that we need to have more conversations about this. I think we need to challenge these schools and to why they're allowing this to take place, why they're promoting this. Because if I remember correctly, during her comments and what she was talking about, she was saying her son and this other kid were friends for a while growing up, and then they got into older years as they matured. These affinity groups took place in school, if I remember correctly. And then
Hmm.
now she's noticing they don't have a friendship anymore, and this is causing a new wave of segregation, if you will.
Right, right, right. I fully agree with you. I do not believe that it's up to schools to next actually be the people to push these type of things. Um, because honestly, I don't believe schools are meant to do it, because you have children and I have one not necessarily of age to that extent, but I believe this is something that you promote at home in probably a more constructive way, and not to where you're necessarily completely separating your child away from these other races, because it kind of, like you said, it creates a new wave of segregation. Um, what do you feel about? It was a statement that I heard Whoopi Goldberg say during an interview with Michelle here, and she was saying how she believes that it's up to the white people to kind of take a stand to make sure that uh the color of the skin isn't ever important anymore. Do you believe that?
I don't know. I think it's our Bruce. I think it's kind of our responsibility, to some degree, as minorities, to educate them, to bring the talk to them. One of the things that I appreciate a lot about conversations or uncomfortable conversation with the black man, when you watch the stuff that Emmanuel Acho has been doing, I think it's been really good. People have been approaching him and having conversations with him, and they've been bringing things to light. So I think that's been a really good platform to be
Hmm.
to educate white America on these topics. And I think that these conversations should be had. Um, my deeper question is why is this even a motive? Why is this even a thing? Why are schools even doing this? What's the motive behind it? I always ask this question: what is the motive behind this? Why is this happening? And why isn't this being challenged? Why aren't parents speaking up about this in these districts and where this is happening? I think parents need to have a voice and speak up about this.
Yeah, and that's what she was saying. One of her issues were that she had friends that agreed with her, but they were scared to speak up, because I guess, now we live in a day of, which we talked about a couple weeks back, was like cancel culture. You
Right.
have people being canceled, or people having that fear of losing their jobs. Just because they would speak up about something. Necessarily, I guess it comes down to being judged at the end of the day. They don't want to be judged by their counterparts that may kind of I guess, help provide their income to their livelihoods. Um, which we do have to find a balance. So I will definitely say that.
Yeah, I think it'd be good to follow up on this topic and kind of track it and see how it goes and see what happens and see if it catches any traction. Does it snowball into anything that has any consequences, or does it snowball into anything that can take a turn for the positivity and the union or uniting or unification of cultures and that type of thing? So I'd like to come back to this, revisit this in a few weeks or so, and or in a month or so, and see how this is tracking.
Definitely, definitely, we will do.